What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So Colourpop recently decided to drop not one but two new collections, and I thought it would be fun to include both of them in one video. So we are going to create a look with each collection, and I will give you my first initial impression thoughts. We're also going to go over everything that was included in both of the collections as we get to them in the video, but everything will be listed and linked down below in the description box, as well as everything else that I use in today's video to complete my looks. So per usual, if you're ever curious about anything I use in any of my videos here on my channel, always check the description box to squeeze as much information as I possibly can into that tiny little space. But without further ado, let's get this party started. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the New Moon collection that Colourpop recently launched, but before we jump into creating our look with this, let's go over the products that were included and give you all the details. Now, I did not pick up everything in this collection, so the products that I did not pick up, I will pop up pictures so you can see what they look like. But up first, we have the eyeshadow palette. So this is the New Moon eyeshadow palette. It retails for $24, and it is a beautiful 15-pan warm tone color story. Personally, I like the color story in this palette more than the original Twilight palette. I do have that one. I really enjoy it. It's just more cool tone, and warm tones are more my thing, but I do like the cool tones in that palette. But I think this one is absolutely gorgeous. I think the color selection is really nice. I think we have a good variety in here as far as mattes and shimmers go, and I think that this color story really captures the movie beautifully because these are based off of the movies, not the books. And you do have the picture of Bella, Edward, and Jacob up here with like the wolf in the background. I like this. I think it is very well done just based off of looking at it aesthetically and all of that. So up next in this collection, we have the 3 creamy eyeshadow sticks. These do retail for $12 a piece, or you can get the bundle of all 3 for $32. I picked up the bundle because these look absolutely gorgeous. They are shifty multi-chromes, and I really enjoy this formula. It is creamy, very easy to apply and blend out, but it also locks in place. I never get any creasing with these. Even if I don't go in with a primer, I find that they lock down just as easily as they do with a primer. But let's run through these real quick. So the first one that we have is going to be Wolf Girl, and this one is going to be a warm bronze to gold to olive shift. I don't know if you're going to be able to see all those shifts on camera, but we will be using some of these in our look today, so hopefully you'll be able to see the shifts. But that looks absolutely gorgeous. That is just a very kind of classic multi-chrome shift. The next one that we have is going to be Vampire Girl, and this is going to be a true red to gold to olive shade, if I can get this to twist up. So this one, ooh, that one, that is so incredibly beautiful. Like, I'm looking on the monitor and it looks like a solid red, but then when I turn my hand, you can see like that deep olivey shift that it has to it. That one is incredibly beautiful. And then the last one that we have is going to be, whoops, if I can do it without flicking it out of my hand, It's Always Been Him. And this one is going to be a pinky copper to gold to green shift. So let's do this one over here. All right, so that is what that one looks like. These do have really nice shifts to them. They're not going to be the shiftiest thing in the world because they are more on the affordable side. So if you're an indie lover and you're used to like those really impactful shifts on the eyes, this is not going to give you that. But if you are new into multi-chromes and you want to play around with them and see if it's something you're going to like, I think these are going to be absolutely beautiful. So I picked up one of the 2 lip kits included in this collection. Both of them retail for $16 a piece, and they come with a liner and a lipstick. Now the other one is called You Can't Trust Vampires, and that's a red lip kit, and I don't need another red lip in my collection, so I went with the more neutral leaning one, which is called Bella, Where the Hell Have You Been? So let's go ahead and swatch this out. Like I said, it comes with a liner and a lipstick, and the liner is going to be in the shade Hello Biceps. That is very cringy, but that is the shade. Very beautiful warm brown shade. And then the lipstick is called Jake. And let's swatch this one out right here. Now, I do really enjoy the Colourpop lip formulas. They're very comfortable. At least the lipsticks are. I'm not the biggest fan of all of their formulas, but I do enjoy the lipsticks. And I think those are absolutely beautiful. I think they're gonna look really pretty on my skin because they do have a little bit of warmth to them. They're not too cool tone leaning. They're not too deep. I think they're very flattering. Now, the products included in this collection that I did not pick up was 3 of them. So the first one is going to be a lip gloss, and it's a red lip gloss. It's called runs with vampires and it retails for $10. And then there's also a glow body oil called It's a Wolf Thing. It's a gold body oil. I don't do like body glow products and things like that, so it just wasn't for me, but that does retail for $12. And then we also had these Super Shock eyeshadows included in this collection, and there were two different shades. So the first one is going to be, hold on, let me get to that real quick. I thought I had it pulled up. I apologize. So the first one is going to be We Won't Bite, and that's a bronzy gold. And then the other one is going to be the Volturi, and that is a blackened burgundy. Now the reason that I didn't pick those up is because I don't reach for my Super Shocks often enough to justify picking them up. Even the ones that I picked up last year from like the Pokemon collection are already starting to dry out, and I felt like the shades in here, while they were absolutely beautiful and very tempting, they were also very similar to a couple of the shades in the palette. So I skipped out on those as well. They retail for $9 a piece. You can also get bundles. You can get the entire collection in a bundle, the whole thing. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and start with the lips, and then we will move into the eyes. So let's start with lining the lips with our liner in the shade, what was it called? Something Biceps. Hello Biceps, the cringiest shade name in the entire world, but it is what it is. It's a Twilight collection. So I'm just going to start by lining my lips. I cannot talk while I do this, so just bear with me. It is a really pretty color. It's not too deep. It has a really pretty undertone to it. I think it's very flattering on me, like I thought it was going to be. All right, so lip liner is on, and I really like this shade. I don't have a lot of shades like this in my collection, so I'm really excited about this one, but I'm even more excited about the lipstick. So let's try this one on. So again, this is in the shade Jake, and we're just gonna apply it. Ooh, I really like that. This is gonna be perfect for fall. That's usually when I reach for tones like this, but I am really feeling this today. I think it's absolutely beautiful. All right, so the lippy is on, and I do think that the shade is absolutely beautiful, but I will say this already feels very drying on my lips, and this is a different formula than what I've tried before. This is the Power Pout Transfer Proof 8-Hour Lipstick. So this has like a more matte finish to it. I'm assuming it's going to lock down, but like I said, I can definitely feel it kind of sucking the life out of my lips. So I'll probably have to put like a gloss or a balm on over top later on, but for now, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna move on because I want to play with the eyeshadow palette. So I've already gone ahead and primed my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. And for this look, I think what I want to do is something very neutral, like on my lid, in my crease, maybe put some gold on the lid. But then I think I want to do an accent for like the lower lash line, like maybe go in with like this deeper red shade right here, maybe pop a little bit of this down there. That's kind of where my thought is right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this shade over here, this really pretty mid-tone, like warm brown shade, which is called You're Sorta Beautiful, and I'm going to pick that up with a BK Beauty 202 brush, and per usual I am just going to fluff this into my crease, building up my depth, my definition, and just kind of starting out this look, getting the shape going. This is really nice. So Colourpop has a pretty solid formula. It's not nearly as consistent as some other brands are. I find that their collabs tend to have the better formula, especially more so in this format right here, and also their ones in the little plastic palettes. I find those to be their best formulas, but we'll see if this is going to hold true to that. So far, this is applying really nicely. The pigmentation is there. It's very easy to blend and buff out, and it's performing the way that I'm expecting it so far. Next, I want to go into this deeper brown shade down here, which is called Your Everything, and I want to build up my outer corner. So I'm going to pick that up with a Morphe M453 and just very lightly start to build up my depth right out here. That is very pigmented. I picked up very little on my brush, but I'm not getting any fallout patching or skipping, which I didn't expect to, but you never know. Like I said, Colourpop does not have the most consistent formula, but it's a really good formula. Some of it is good for the price, some of it is just really good, and so far this is a really nice formula. I'm enjoying it, but I'm just going to blend that out here, buff it up, kind of smoke it out here, make sure we don't have any harsh lines, and it's just nice and blended and softened. All right, so I do want to deepen up my outer corners just a little bit, but before I do that, I want to do my lower lash line. So I'm going to go in with this deep like blood red shade over here, which is called Paper Cut, and I am going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO4 brush, and I'm just going to go in with like the very tip of my brush. So I'm just going to go right on the tip, and I am just going to kind of smudge this along my entire lower lash line, bringing it almost all the way over. So I'm going to bring it over to about like right here, so I guess about 2/3 of the way, and then I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna continue to buff this out, kind of softening it. I want to have like a fun accent down there. That is a gorgeous like plummy red, blood red shade. So next what I want to do is I want to take that same brush, I just wiped it off really good, and I'm going to go in to this red shade right here. It's more like a satiny red, so it's not like a full-on shimmer, it's not a pressed glitter, but it's not a flat matte either, and that one is called Bloodsucker. So same brush, I'm going to pick it up the same way, just like right on the very tip of my brush, and I'm going to go right along that shade that I just put down, bringing it over further to my inner corner, and then just buffing it along the bottom of that first shade that I put down, just kind of intensifying it a little bit and giving it like this fade from like a deep red to a little bit of a brighter red. So now we're going to deepen up the outer corner. So I'm going to go in with this black shade right here, which is called Soul Reader. And I'm going to pick that up with a Sigma E33 brush. And I am just very lightly going to press it right here on the very outer corner of my lid. I don't want this to take over and get away from me. I just want to add that little bit of depth right here. And I am going to wrap it around onto the very outer corner of my lower lash line. So that's why I did my lower lash line before I did this, because I wanted to kind of melt everything together. Oh yeah, that is really pretty. I'm not getting any fallout. This is very fuss-free, very easy to kind of blend together, build up on one another. It's not getting away from me. The performance of this palette is really, really nice. Okay, so for all over the lid, we're gonna go in with one of our creamy shadow sticks, and we're gonna go in with this one right here in the middle, that one that has that really pretty red flip to it, which is called Vampire Girl. I think it's just gonna add a really pretty pop to the lid and kind of tie everything together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by kind of swiping this all over my lid. I'm not pressing too hard because I don't wanna pull and tug. I'm just kind of pressing this all over. If you need to, you can kind of warm it up on the back of your hand just a little bit. Sometimes they need that extra little push, but look at that. Oh my gosh, that is so incredibly beautiful. It's applying very easily. It's not pulling or tugging too much, especially after I went in and warmed it up just a little bit. It went on really nicely, but I am gonna go back with like a clean smudger brush, and I'm gonna put that like right in the socket and just kind of blend everything together so we don't have any harsh lines. So now we need to pick a shade for the inner corner to finish off this look. So I'm kind of deciding which direction I want to go. I'm kind of thinking between this shade and this shade right here. I don't want to do anything too light because we do have like this deep, smoky, very sultry look going on that I absolutely love, by the way. So I'm going to swatch out these two shades right here, and I'm going to start with this one, which is called Trade Secrets, and then the other shade over here is called Adrenaline. So starting with Trade Secrets, that is what this shade looks like right here. It's just a really pretty true gold shade. We're gonna put that one right there. Ooh, that would be beautiful on the inner corner. But the other shade, which is called Adrenaline, this one is more like a pressed glitter, but I've said before, I don't mind Colourpop pressed glitters. They have a little bit more emollients to them. They don't give you a whole lot of fallout. They're not super gritty. They do still have that texture to them, but they're not as bad as some others. But that is that shade right here. So let's put this one right there. Ooh, I think that's gonna be our winner. That is insanely beautiful, and I think it's gonna go with this look really, really nicely. So I am going to wipe off my fingers first, and then I'm gonna pick that shade up with a Singe Beauty EO1 brush, and I am going to spray it with some MAC Fix Plus per usual. So this is my little brush. I'm just gonna dip it in there really well, coat that brush, and then you absolutely wanna spray this, even if you have like a tacky base on, because this does have like all those glitters in it, you wanna minimize fallout. So I'm just going to very lightly press it right there in the inner corner, and then I'm gonna come over here and get most of that product off, and then once I have it off, I can kind of blend it up onto my lid and down onto my lower lash line, just finishing up this look. All right, y'all, so this is the completed look, and I think this turned out insanely beautiful. It is dark, it is smoky, it is shifty, it is giving me the vampy vibes I expect to get from a collection like this, and based off of first impression, I think Colourpop did a really good job. Obviously, I need to keep playing with everything, continue to test it out, use all the shades, the shadow sticks, and everything before I can give you my final thoughts on this collection, but I do really love this. I think everything performed really nicely. The only product that I'm not a big fan of, which I'm sure comes as no surprise to you, is the lipstick, and that's because it feels so matte and drying on my lips. It's a little bit more comfortable now than it was when I first applied it, and I think once I put a gloss or a balm on over top, it'll be fine, but I don't think this is going to be a go-to formula for me. I think in the future, I probably wouldn't pick up anything if it was this formula, but I will continue to use it because I do really like the shade. I don't have anything like this in my collection, and I love the lip liner as well, but I already knew that I liked this lip liner formula anyway. This is the Lippy Pencil. The BFF is one of my favorites. I did have to declutter that one because it got old, kind of like dried up and fell out of the component, but really nice creamy formula. It locks down, it stays in place, but it doesn't pull and tug on your lips, and I really enjoy it. And the eyeshadow sticks, I do really enjoy this formula. I think these are a little bit more stiff than their regular ones, but it's probably that pigment in it from it being a multi-chrome, but I do think they look very nice and very smooth and flattering on my lids. It's not emphasizing texture. Obviously, I didn't get fallout or anything like that, but I'll let y'all know as far as transfer goes and creasing and all of that and how they hold up on the lids. And the eyeshadow palette, I think this is beautiful. I like this color story more than I like the color story in the original Twilight collection, which I already told y'all, but it's because it's warm tones. I'm still not a big fan of the picture up here, but I understand it. It is based off of the movies, not the books, but I do think they did a really good job with the theming, the color selection, the shade names, all of it. And first impression, I like the collection overall, but let me show you what I used to finish off the eye look so we can turn the lights down, see the shimmer, the shift, the sparkle, and then we can move on to the second collection that Colourpop brought us recently. So in my lower waterline, floating around here somewhere, is the liner I used. Here it is. It's an Appeal Gel Liner. This is in the shade Next Level. It's just a red eyeliner. And then I line my lids with my ZC liquid liner. I've got a huge mess sitting in here in front of me. I apologize. And then for mascara, I went in with my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. Next, we're going to jump into the collection that I don't think anybody saw coming. I know I sure didn't, but this is a very spur of the moment release for the brand, and this is the A Shadow of Secrets collection. Now, this one is geared towards all of my fellow fantasy book readers out there, more specifically, those of you who love A Court of Thorn and Roses. This is not an officially licensed collection, but it's definitely giving that vibe. I mean, you can tell from the packaging, the shade names, the theming behind it, even the way that they advertised it, that's exactly what they were going for. But this collection does include an eyeshadow palette. This is a 15 pan palette. It does retail for $22. It opens just like a little book, and this is beautiful. I love the more berry purple leaning tones in here. There is a lot of depth in here, but it does lean pretty dark. But the shade names in here, y'all, the shade names are what get me. We've got Shadow Daddy, Trope, Claimed, Yes Sir, Faded Mates. I absolutely love it. Also included in this collection, we have two of their Instant Crush lip and cheek balms. So we have the shade Love Interest and Ravished. These retail for $10 a piece. I have not tried the new cream formula from Colourpop, but this is our first one, and look at that packaging. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is the shade Love Interest, and look at how beautiful this is. Let's do a little swatch on the back of my hand. We are gonna try these on the cheek, but I just wanna see what those shades look like. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. It is not super pigmented. I'm hoping it's more on the buildable side, but we'll see how that one blends out. But the other shade that we have is going to be Ravished. I think the packaging for this collection is beautiful. So this is what it looks like, and this one is a little bit deeper. If I can get it open, I couldn't decide which shade I wanted, and I love like a more deeper berry blush as long as it's not overly pigmented. So we're gonna do a swatch of this one as well and see what this is gonna look like. Ooh, that is insanely beautiful, and I'm hoping that these blend out really nicely, that they're more buildable in pigmentation, because I love that color. And if it's super dark and pigmented, it is not going to look good on my fair skin, but we're going to try it out and see what it's all about. So this collection did also include a slew of lip products. I didn't pick up every single one of them, but I did get the 2 lip kits that were included. But also included in this collection are the So Juicy Plumping Gloss Bombs. There were 3 shades. They retail for $10 a piece, or you can get a bundle of all 3 for $27. And then there's a Kiss of Darkness Lip Scrub and Mask Duo that retails for $18. I do really enjoy their scrub and their mask. I just don't need it right now. But then I did pick up the 2 lip kits that were included in this collection. So these retail for $16 a piece, or you can get both of them in a bundle for $32. Not really a savings there, but I think that's how I got them. I can't remember. But the first one that we have is going to be the Enemies to Lovers, and this is going to be a lip liner and a lipstick. So this is the lip liner right here, and this is in the shade Seduction. So let's do a little swatch right here. That is such a beautiful like wine berry shade. These shades tend to wash me out a little bit, but we're gonna try it anyway. And then the lipstick is called Enemies to Lovers. Y'all, this packaging is so insanely beautiful. I love the attention to detail, but this is what the lipstick looks like right there. This is more of their creamy lipstick, so this isn't going to be as drying as the one in the New Moon collection, but that is a really pretty lip combo. We are gonna try both of these, so I'll probably put one on now and then we'll switch to the other one later on. At least I'm going to try to remember to do so. But the other one is going to be the Toxic Lip Duo, and this one is a little bit more my speed as far as shade goes, but again, you get a lip liner and a lipstick. So the lip liner is in the shade Twisted, and we're gonna do a little swatch of it right here. This one is more of like that pinky mauve shade, a little bit more on the dusty side, a little lighter, something easier for me to pull off. And then the lipstick is in the shade, where is it? Toxic. Love that shade name. And this is what that shade looks like. And then that is the shade kind of swatched out on the back of my hand. So 2 very beautiful lip kits. I think both shades are beautiful. This one is probably going to be more up my alley, but I couldn't resist this one. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful, and who knows? So we're going to start this look off by testing out the blushes. I'm going to put one on each cheek. So we're going to start with the lighter one of the 2, which is called Love Interest. It's this beautiful shade right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up with a BK Beauty 109 brush. This is a fairly clean brush. It's not completely clean, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to pick it up on my brush, tap it out on the back of my hand so I can make sure it's nice and dispersed. And then we're going to go in right here on my cheek. Now, I've never tested out this specific formula before. I do have cream blushes from Colourpop that I absolutely love, and I never experienced any issues with them lifting the product underneath or patching or fading away or anything like that, but we'll see what this does. So far this is going on really nicely. These are pigmented, so they're not going to be super buildable. I'm sure if you go in with a little less product, it wouldn't be super pigmented, but that is definitely very pigmented on my skin. So I'm really kind of nervous about the deeper one, but it's blending out really nicely. It's blending into the skin. It has a really pretty sheen to it. It doesn't feel sticky on my skin, but it also doesn't feel powder-like or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe my brush off just a little bit, and then I'm going to go back over top, and I'm just going to keep kind of blending this out a little bit, softening those edges, because right now we're looking a little crazy. All right, so we've definitely got quite the blush moment going on this cheek over here. I think I picked up just a little too much. Lesson learned, I will go in with a lighter hand the second time around, but it did apply beautifully, and honestly, in person, it doesn't look nearly as like in your face as it does on camera. Camera always picks up things a little bit different, but let's go in with the other shade, the deeper one of the 2. I'm gonna go in very light-handed with this one, but this is the shade Ravish. This is such a beautiful deep berry shade, but I have a feeling this is going to be wildly pigmented. So I picked up a tiny little bit, and we're gonna blend it out right here on my hand. Yeah, look at that, super pigmented. Let's apply and see how this goes. So I want to see if I can go in with a super light hand and maybe build up a little bit more. Yes, it is definitely you are definitely able to shear this out. I'm so sorry, I completely lost my train of thought, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a little bit more and just put this right over top right here. Yeah, so for me personally with my fair skin, less is more. Build up on it, build up to the intensity that you want, but you saw you can definitely go in a little heavier handed and it will give you a full-on blush moment. So I think this is going to work really well for a lot of skin tones. If you have a deeper skin tone than I do and you pick this up, let me know what your experience was down below in the comment section, y'all. I cannot talk today. I am so sorry, but I'm just gonna build up a little bit more, hoping I don't overdo this, but I kind of want to balance it out with what I have going on the other cheek, just because I don't want to look too crazy. I'm not going anywhere today, but still. All right, so here we are with both blushes on, and honestly, I think that they look very similar on my skin, so I don't know if you necessarily need both of them, but they are buildable. You can sheer them out a little bit, or you can build up to a full blush on moment. It didn't lift the product underneath, it didn't disturb anything. My face is powdered, so I'm not going on over other cream products. I'm going on over a powdered face, and I think they look absolutely beautiful. They have a nice little sheen to them. Like I said, very blushy, but beautiful formula. But let's move on to the lip kit. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the Enemies to Lovers lip kit. This is the darker one of the two, the one that is more closely matched to the blush that we just tried on. So we're gonna start with the lip pencil, and this is in the shade Seduction. I do really enjoy this formula from Colourpop. It's creamy, it glides on really nicely, but it's not one of those that moves around, but it also doesn't like fully 100% dry down. It's not gonna stay in place all day, but it will stay a pretty decent amount of the day. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take off my lip oil that I have on. All right, let's go ahead and apply this. All right, the lip liner is on. It applied beautifully, just as I expected it to, but let's go in with the lipstick. So this one is in the shade Enemies to Lovers, and this is the really pretty deep wine shade. I'm just gonna put this right over top. So this is what that lip combo looks like, and y'all, this is incredibly beautiful. It applied very evenly, it's creamy, it feels hydrating, it doesn't feel heavy, thick, or like drying on my lips at all, and I really love the shade. I'm surprised at how much I love it, but I want to show y'all something. Y'all, this fell out of the bottom of my lipstick. It's like a little heavy magnet thing. It pushes back in there, but I don't know what that's about. But yes, I do love this lip combo. Does it wash me out? Maybe a little bit, but it is what it is. I'm a pale girl. But let's go ahead and dive into the eyeshadow palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes, get my hair out of my face, and zoom y'all in just a little bit. All right, y'all, so my eyes are primed. Let's dive into the palette and create our look. So it does open like a book, but just because it's easier for me, I'm gonna hold it this way. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this shade right here. This is the lightest matte in the palette. It's called Yes Sir, and I'm gonna pick that up with a BK Beauty 212 brush, and I'm gonna start by putting this in my crease, building up a little bit of depth and definition. I wanna see if this is going to kind of soften out or if it's gonna be super dark, what the pigmentation is like, performance is like, all of that jazz. That is really pretty. I would have preferred something maybe a slight bit lighter in this palette, but it is what it is. It's dark fantasy romance, so you know, you would expect it to be a dark color story, but this is going on really nicely. I'm not getting any patching. It is taking just a little bit to kind of blend it out, but it's not impossible. It's just not like the easiest to blend out. So from here, I think I want to go into this shade right here, and then maybe we'll pop into these deeper shades in just a minute. But that shade is called Trigger Warning. So I'm going to pick that up with a BK Beauty 206 brush, and I'm just going to start building up my outer corner just a little bit. So I'm going to start by pressing it and building it on my lid, and then I'll start to kind of blend it out and soften it and kind of blend it into that first shade that I put down. That is very pretty, and that was really easy to blend out. It was kind of effortless actually, and I didn't get any patching, skipping, fallout, or anything like that. So far, I think it's safe to say that this is the really good Colourpop formula. So both of these palettes in this video today, I'm really impressed with the performance and pigmentation I do want to take that shade down onto my lower lash line as well. So I'm just going to bring it over as far as I brought it on my lid and just kind of smoke it out down here, blending it into my inner corner, just kind of wrapping it, or my outer corner, wrapping it around out here. So to deepen up the outer corner, I think I want to start with this purple shade right here and see if I can get the depth that I want. If I need to, I can go back in with the black shadow down there, but we're going to start right here with that shade, which is called Claimed. And I am going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO2 brush and just very lightly build up a little bit of depth right out here. Yeah, that's giving me what I want. I could take it a step darker, but I think I'm happy with what this is giving me right now. I don't want to take this too smoky. I'm already getting a little washed out from these shades, just basically from the lipstick, but you know, it is what it is. That's performing really nicely. I'm not getting any fallout. I'm going to wrap it around down here onto my lower lash line as well, just bringing it right in this little outer corner. For the rest of my lower lash line, I'm just going back with that very first shade that I used in my crease called Yes Sir, and I'm just buffing it right along out here, kind of blending everything together, softening it, smoking it out just a little bit, bringing some more cohesiveness to this look. Okay, so my lid is primed and ready to go for some shimmers, and I actually went in with my Sugar Drizzle primer. This one is a really nice sticky base, and I just finished my one from NYX, and before opening up another one, I decided to go ahead and use this one. So for all over the lid, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. We do have a couple of pressed glitters in here. It's going to be these two right here, and maybe we'll do one of those all over the lid. So I do want to swatch both of them out. So we're going to start with this one right here, which is called Wingspan, and then we'll go into High Fae and see which one we want to do. So starting with Wingspan, this is that shade right there. That is absolutely beautiful. It has some really pretty colorful sparkles in it. Look at that. That is beautiful. That would be really pretty all over the lid. It's got a nice cool tone to it, but then it has like the warm sparkles in it. But the other one that we have is High Fae. So let's see what this one's like. This one feels a little bit drier, I have to say, when I pick it up. It doesn't feel quite as like I don't know what word I'm looking for. I was gonna say emulsified, and that's not the right word. I don't know. It doesn't feel quite as creamy as the other one, but this is what that shade looks like right there. It still looks really, really pretty, and once I swatch it out, it looks and feels a little bit better, but I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll go in with this one. That one could be really pretty on the inner corner though. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go in with the shade Wingspan, and I'm actually gonna pick this up with my finger because I find that their pressed glitter formula goes on better with a finger than it does with a brush. So I just went ahead and picked it up, and I'm just gonna press this all over my lid. Look at that, that is beautiful. This doesn't feel super gritty or thick or heavy, and whenever I wash my face, I find that this comes off fairly easy. I mean, I still have the little glitter particles I could still probably use going in with tape, but that's too much work for me. It just kind of is what it is. All right, so for my inner corner, I went ahead and picked up that shade High Fae on my pinky, and I'm just gonna pop this right here in my inner corner, just kind of pressing it in there, and then kind of bringing it onto my lid, kind of smudging those two shades together so they blend. All right, y'all, so this is the completed look, and I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. I'm loving the combination of warm tones and cool tones that we have going on throughout this entire look, and I think the eyeshadow turned out beautiful as well. Even that pressed glitter looks beautiful on the lid, but overall, I'm really impressed with this collection. I did switch out the lip combo to the other one, which is called Toxic, and even though they're both absolutely beautiful, this one is more my speed. But as far as performance goes, I thought the blushes were absolutely beautiful. I was really impressed with how they went on, how they blended out. The pigmentation is definitely there, but I noticed whenever I went in with the deeper shade, I was able to kind of blur it out a little bit more and build it up on my cheek. But if you go in heavy-handed, you can definitely get a lot of pigmentation, but they do look really nice. They're setting really nice. They do feel like they dried down. They don't feel sticky or anything like that. The lip products I thought were really nice as well. The lip liners, I already know that I love this formula. Like I said, it's creamy. It goes on really nicely, but it does stay put. It just doesn't stay put all day. It's not going to be completely completely budge proof. It will wear off. And the lipsticks I thought were nice and creamy, comfortable, and hydrating as well. I think they both look beautiful on the lips. They didn't go on patchy. They're not sticking to dryness. They're not drying them out or anything like that. And then lastly, we have the eyeshadow palette, and I do think this is a beautiful color story in here, but it is a monochromatic purple color story. So if you're not into purples, you're not going to be into this palette. I do think that this could have run a little bit lighter with the matte shades in here. Like maybe this one right here could have been just a smidge lighter, but overall I was able to get a really pretty look. I like the performance of it. I think this is a really pretty collection and I enjoyed playing with it. But let me show you what I used to finish off this eye look so we can turn the lights down, see the shimmer, the shift, the sparkle, and then we can close out this video. So in my lower waterline, I went in with a Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner and the shade Bordeaux. I thought this would be fun to bring a little bit more warmth back to the eye to kind of tie everything else together that we had going on. And then I lined my lid with my ZC liquid liner, and for mascara, I went in once again with my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. All right, y'all, so overall, I think Colourpop did a wonderful job with these two collections. Everything from the packaging, the theming, and the color stories was 100% on point, and I really enjoyed playing with everything today. I love the two looks that I created, and overall, I thought the formulas were fantastic in everything, with the exception of the one lipstick from the New Moon collection. That one was just a little too drying and mattifying for my lips. It did stay in place all day. I really liked the color, but I just found my lips craving extra moisture all day, and at the end of the day, I really had to give them some extra attention because they were so dried out. But other than that, I really enjoyed anything, and if you've been eyeing either of these collections, I don't think you would be disappointed. But that is going to complete this video. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know if you did pick up either of these collections, what you thought of it, if you plan on picking them up, which one's your favorite, which look was your favorite. I want to know it all. Let's have that conversation, light up that comment section, and as always, I want to thank you so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me, and if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.